Welcome, friend, to Dream Bites, a podcast where the magic of storytelling meets the power of imagination. Each episode is a warm invitation to explore a world unlike any other, carefully crafted to transport you to new realms of wonder. So, find a cozy spot, settle in, and let the friendly voice of our narrator be your guide on this exciting adventure. And now, dear listener, it's time to embark on today's delightful story.
The Clumsy Kangaroo Goalie. Chapter 1. Katie's Kangaroo-Sized Conundrum. In a lush green valley nestled between rolling hills, a lively bunch of animal friends loved to play soccer. Among them was Katie, a young kangaroo with a big heart and an even bigger dream: to become the greatest goalkeeper in all the land. As the sun peeked over the horizon, casting a warm glow across the dewy grass, Katie hopped onto the soccer field with a determined glint in her eye. "I'm going to be the best goalie ever!" she exclaimed, her voice carrying a tune of excitement that made her teammates smile. But as Katie took her place in front of the goal, she couldn't help but notice the worried glances from her friends. You see, Katie had a bit of a challenge: her oversized kangaroo feet and a tail that seemed to have a mind of its own. As the game kicked off and the ball came whizzing towards the goal, Katie leapt with all her might, her powerful kangaroo legs propelling her towards the ball. "I've got it!" she called out, her paws outstretched. But instead of snagging the ball in a triumphant save, Katie's big feet sent the ball bouncing off in a wild direction. To make matters worse, the ball ricocheted off her tail and straight into the net behind her. "Oops," Katie said, her ears drooping as her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. Despite the giggles from the other animals, Katie's friends rallied around her. Benny the beaver, known for his kind heart and inventive mind, patted Katie on the back. "Don't worry, Katie," he said with a reassuring smile. "We all have our quirks. They're what make us special." Inspired by Benny's words, Katie had an idea. She would invent special kangaroo-sized goalie gloves to help her grip the ball better. With a hop and a skip, she rushed off to create her masterpiece. But when she returned to the field, her gloves were so comically large that she could barely see the ball coming. As the game continued, Katie's mishaps seemed to multiply. She tripped over her own feet, sent the ball bouncing off her tail in unexpected directions, and even accidentally hopped right over the ball in a moment of over-enthusiasm. Each blunder chipped away at her confidence, and Katie began to wonder if her dream was just too big for a kangaroo like her. As the sun began to dip below the hills and the other animals started to head home, Katie sat on the sidelines, her head hung low. "Maybe I'm not meant to be a goalie," she sighed, a single tear trailing down her furry cheek. "My big feet and tail just keep getting in the way." But even as doubt crept into her heart, a small spark of determination refused to be extinguished. Katie knew she had a special gift, even if she hadn't quite figured out how to use it yet. With a deep breath and a resolute nod, Katie hopped off into the fading light, determined to find a way to make her kangaroo quirks work for her, no matter how many obstacles stood in her way. Chapter 2. A Koala Coach's Wisdom. As Katie sat on the sidelines, her head hung low and her spirit dampened by her soccer mishaps, a wise old koala named Zen hopped over to her side. With a warm smile and a twinkle in his eye, Zen settled beside the young kangaroo. "Why so glum, little one?" Zen asked softly, his voice as gentle as a summer breeze. Katie sighed, her shoulders slumping. "I keep messing up on the field because of my big feet and tail. I don't think I'm cut out to be a goalie." Zen chuckled, his laughter like the rustling of leaves. "Tell me, Katie, have you ever seen a tree grow tall without roots?" Katie looked up at Zen, confusion etched on her face. "No, but what does that have to do with soccer?" "Just like a tree needs its roots to grow strong," Zen explained. "You need to embrace what makes you special. Your feet and tail aren't holding you back. They're gifts waiting to be unwrapped." Katie wasn't so sure. "But how can they help me be a better goalie?" Zen's smile widened. "That's where I come in. I'm known around these parts for my unique coaching style. If you're willing to learn, I can show you how to turn those kangaroo traits into goalkeeping superpowers." A glimmer of hope sparked in Katie's eyes. "You really think I can do it?" "I know you can," Zen said with unwavering confidence. "But first, let's change how you see yourself. Close your eyes and picture the greatest goalie in the world. What do they look like? Katie shut her eyes tight, her brow furrowed in concentration. They're probably tall and have big hands to catch the ball. Zen nodded. Now, imagine that same goalie with kangaroo feet and a tail. What can they do that others can't? Katie's mind raced with possibilities. They could jump really high to reach the ball and use their tail for balance. Exactly, Zen exclaimed, his eyes sparkling with pride. Your differences are your strengths, Katie. Embrace them, and you'll be unstoppable. With a newfound sense of determination, Katie hopped to her feet. All right, Zen, I'm ready to learn from the best. And so, under the guidance of the wise koala coach, Katie took her first steps on the path to becoming the most unique and incredible goalie the animal soccer world had ever seen. As they began their training, Zen showcased his unconventional methods, using playful exercises and creative drills to help Katie understand how to use her kangaroo traits to her advantage. Though the journey ahead was sure to be filled with challenges, Katie's heart swelled with excitement and hope. With Zen by her side, she knew she could face anything that came her way, one hop at a time. Chapter 3: Training Tales and Triumphs. As the sun rose over the soccer field, Katie hopped eagerly towards Zen, ready to begin her unique training. The wise koala coach greeted her with a warm smile and a twinkle in his eye. Today, we're going to focus on using your tail to your advantage, Zen said, picking up a soccer ball. Katie watched in awe as Zen balanced the ball on his fluffy tail and flicked it into the air, catching it effortlessly. Wow! Can I really do that? She asked, her eyes wide with wonder. Of course you can, Zen encouraged. Just remember, it's not about perfection, it's about learning and having fun. With determination, Katie placed the ball on her tail, trying to mimic Zen's technique. She flicked her tail, but the ball went flying in the wrong direction, bouncing off a nearby bush. Oops! Katie giggled, hopping after the runaway ball. Over the next few days, Zen taught Katie various tail techniques, from using it for balance to launching surprise counterattacks. He showed her how to use her powerful legs to jump high and her oversized feet to block shots. Your kangaroo traits are your secret weapons, Zen explained. Embrace them, and you'll be unbeatable. As Katie practiced, her skills improved, and so did her confidence. Her teammates watched in amazement as she made spectacular saves, leaping through the air and using her tail to propel herself. Way to go, Katie, cheered Benny the beaver. You're like a kangaroo superhero. Katie beamed with pride, finally understanding that her differences were her strengths. One day, during a particularly challenging drill, Katie made an incredible save. She jumped higher than ever before, using her tail for balance, and caught the ball with her oversized feet. Did you see that? Katie exclaimed, bouncing with joy. I did it! I used my kangaroo powers. Zen smiled, his heart swelling with pride. You've always had it in you, Katie. You just needed to believe in yourself. With happy tears in her eyes, Katie hugged Zen tight. Thank you for believing in me and helping me see what makes me special. As the sun began to set, Katie hopped off the field, her heart filled with excitement for the big game ahead. She knew that with her unique skills and newfound confidence, she could face any challenge that came her way. And as she hopped away, Zen watched with a knowing smile, pleased to see his young student embracing her true self and ready to share her gifts with the world. Chapter 4: The Grand Goalie Gambit. The big game day had arrived, and the air crackled with excitement. Katie hopped onto the field, her heart thumping with anticipation. This was her moment to shine, to show the world what a kangaroo goalie could really do. As the whistle blew, the game sprang into action. The opposing team's forwards were lightning fast, their shots zipping towards Katie's goal like guided missiles. But Katie was ready. With a mighty leap, she soared through the air, her powerful legs launching her towards the ball. Katie's oversized foot connected with a resounding thump, sending the ball rocketing back across the field. The crowd gasped, awestruck by her incredible save. Katie landed gracefully, a grin spreading across her face. Did you see that? Benny the beaver exclaimed from the sidelines, his voice squeaky with excitement. Katie's teammates cheered, their spirits soaring as high as Katie's jumps. The game raged on, and Katie's unique skills were put to the ultimate test. She used her tail like a rudder, balancing herself mid-leap to reach seemingly impossible shots. She even managed to bounce the ball off her tail, launching surprise attacks that left the other team scrambling. But as the clock ticked down, the opposing team's determination grew. They bombarded Katie's goal with a relentless barrage of shots, pushing her reflexes and endurance to their limits. Katie's heart raced as she leapt and dove, channeling every lesson Zen had taught her. With mere seconds left, the other team's star forward broke free, rocketing a shot towards the top corner. Time seemed to slow as Katie sprang into action, her legs extending in a fierce ballet. She stretched with every fibre of her being, her oversized foot grazing the ball just enough to send it spinning off the crossbar. The final whistle pierced the air, and the crowd erupted. Katie's teammates swarmed her, their hugs and high fives a joyful chaos. Katie's heart swelled with pride, tears of joy welling in her eyes. She had done it! She had proven to the world that her differences were her greatest strengths. As she hopped off the field, Katie caught Zen's eye. The wise koala smiled, his eyes shining with a mentor's pride. At that moment, Katie realized that this was only the beginning. With Zen's guidance and her own unique talents, she knew she could take on any challenge the world could throw at her. The kangaroo goalie had arrived, and she was here to stay. Chapter 5. A Kangaroo's Kick to Victory. The sun shone brightly over the soccer field as Katie and her team prepared for the championship game. The stands buzzed with excitement, eager fans waving colourful banners and cheering for their favourite players. Katie took a deep breath, her heart racing with anticipation. This was her moment to shine, to show the world what a kangaroo goalie could really do. As the whistle blew, the game sprang into action. The opposing team's forwards were swift and agile, their shots zipping towards Katie's goal like bolts of lightning. But Katie was ready. With a mighty leap, she soared through the air, her powerful legs launching her towards the ball. Katie's oversized foot connected with a resounding thump, sending the ball rocketing back across the field. The crowd roared, awestruck by her incredible save. Katie landed gracefully, a grin spreading across her face. She glanced towards the sidelines and saw Zen, his eyes twinkling with pride. The game raged on, and Katie's unique skills were put to the ultimate test. She used her tail like a rudder, balancing herself mid-leap to reach seemingly impossible shots. She even managed to bounce the ball off her tail, launching surprise counterattacks that left the other team scrambling. Katie's teammates marvelled at her abilities, their confidence soaring with each spectacular save. Benny the beaver cheered from the sidelines, his voice squeaky with excitement. "Way to go, Katie! You're unstoppable!" But as the clock ticked down, the opposing team's determination grew. They bombarded Katie's goal with a relentless barrage of shots, pushing her reflexes and endurance to their limits. Katie's heart pounded as she leapt and dove, channeling every lesson Zen had taught her. With mere seconds left, the other team's star forward broke free, rocketing a shot towards the top corner. Time seemed to slow as Katie sprang into action, her legs extending in a fierce ballet. She stretched with every fibre of her being, her oversized foot grazing the ball just enough to send it spinning off the crossbar. The final whistle pierced the air, and the crowd erupted in a deafening roar. Katie's teammates swarmed her, their hugs and high fives a joyful chaos. They had done it! They were the champions! As the team celebrated, Katie hopped over to Zen, her heart overflowing with gratitude. "I couldn't have done it without you," she said, her eyes shining with tears of joy. "You helped me see that my differences are my strengths." Zen smiled, his voice soft and wise. "You had the power within you all along, Katie. Never forget that." Katie nodded, a sense of pride and determination swelling in her chest. She knew that this was only the beginning. With her unique talents and unbreakable spirit, she was ready to take on any challenge that came her way. As the sun began to set over the soccer field, Katie and her teammates hoisted the championship trophy high, their laughter and cheers echoing through the air. The kangaroo goalie had proven that with hard work, perseverance, and a little bit of tail-bouncing magic, anything was possible. And so, Katie hopped off into the fading light, her heart filled with joy, and her spirit soaring like a kangaroo in full stride. She knew that whatever the future held, she would face it with the same courage and determination that had carried her to victory today. For Katie, the unstoppable kangaroo goalie, this was just the beginning of a truly remarkable journey. The end.
And there you have it, dear listener. Another enchanting journey brought to life by the magic of storytelling. We hope that this tale has sparked your imagination and left you with a sense of wonder. As we close this chapter, remember that there's always another story waiting to be discovered. So keep your sense of curiosity alive and join us again for the next episode of Dream Bites. Until then, may your own adventures be filled with the same excitement and delight as the ones we've shared here. And always remember, the power of imagination knows no bounds. Thank you for being a part of the Dream Bites story. See you next time.